It is 7 o'clock. Welcome to our first meeting of 2026, January 23rd. If you would, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. First item this evening is to consider the minutes of the December 23rd, 2025 and the January 8th agenda review meetings. Having had an opportunity to review those, I'd call for a motion to approve.
I move that we approve.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is to consider a resolution to establish a reinvestment housing improvement district, also known as a RHID, for property located east of Logan Street and northwest of Southeast 14th Connecticut. Zach?
Yeah, this property is located just south of Fox Ridge, just for everybody's reference, right on the Southeast 14th connector. This is pursuant to our state statutes. The RHID process begins with the adoption of a resolution by the governing body that makes specific findings and determinations regarding the need for the type of housing proposed within the city. The resolution also includes the legal description of the property where the project would occur. Approval of this item does not create the district or authorize financing. It documents the city's determination that the proposed project addresses identified housing needs and should proceed through the remaining steps of the RHID process. We have Noah Morford here to represent. He can step up to the podium, introduce himself.
Hi, Noah Morford with K2M Investments.
Could you move the mic up, please? Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, so like Zach alluded to, our intent is to come and give some affordable housing to the community. Based on the map to the north of the pink pizza pie, we'll call it, we're talking about probably 15 multifamily or duplex style that kind of mimic the Fox Ridge right to the north of that. There is a pond, and then to the south side of that, we'd like to put some affordable housing on single family basis, probably a three house plan, possibly gated community type that can add some variety to the community.
Awesome. Thank you.
I move that we approve the adoption of the resolution and initiate the reinvestment housing improvement district process for this subject property.
All righty. Denise, do you have a resolution?
I do. That would be G1371.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is to consider a resolution of support for a rehabilitation project at Skyview Apartments located at 500 Cherry Lane. Zach?
Yeah, Skyview Apartments approached us about a rehabilitation project and their application to KHRC. We reached out to KHRC for guidance on how to help them with their application. They kind of gave us no guidance on where to go with this, other than if a resolution of support would be an exhibit that they would look at. If this project were in the NRP or the neighborhood revitalization program currently, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. They'd just be able to check that box. This property just falls right outside the line of the NRP. Redrawing those lines is a whole nother conversation and can of worms anyways, but this was legal and legal's determination in referencing what KHRC guidance they did provide. The resolution of support is what you have before you. So I'll stand for any questions, and then we have Gordon here with Merrick Properties, I believe, to answer any questions you may have.
Good evening.
Gordon Rock with Merrick Development. Our intent is to rehabilitate the apartment complex, possibly some infill units as well to help increase density. It'll be a full LIHTC project, so all affordable units, most likely target, anywhere in the range of 30 to 60% area median income. It'd be a full rehab, and we would probably expect the process to take about a year if we were awarded.
Awesome.
What are the rent ranges that you would be targeting?
Rent ranges, 30 to 60% of area median income. So I'm trying to remember, I was just looking at another one. I hadn't pulled this one up in a few days, but we're probably in the 30% range, in the 400s, in the 60% range, you know, probably into the 800s. You know, that could change, obviously. Typically, you know, when we put an application in, there is a market adjustment. By the time the property gets placed in service, it usually takes a year to 18 months. And so the rents that get turned in with the application are typically a little bit different, just depending on how the market adjusts.
Yeah.
Remind me how many units?
It's 46 now, so the intent would be to fill in an additional 3.
Keep some of the green space, but use some of it to.
Yeah, so there's just basically some space in between the buildings that we'd use. None of the other green space would be,
Did you say it was income-based?
yes.
Okay.
Is it currently full of tenants?
No,
No, it's not.
no. I mean, there are tenants there, but there's a number of units offline that, you know, require rehab to,
Would
If
those
they were
be-
rehabbed, you'd have capacity.
yes.
You have a good waiting list?
Is there a good waiting list?
Yeah.
So we don't currently have the property under management, so I don't have access to the waiting list. I know rent rolls, there is some vacancy just due to some maintenance and rehab that needs to take place.
So those end up going offline for 30, 45 days sometimes after somebody vacates,
Yeah.
depending on the condition of the property.
Yeah, and any relocation would, you know, be based upon, you know, federal guidelines with the LIHTC dollars. So,
Right.
you know, we have to follow a strict protocol of notices, and there's relocation assistance, and
Do
Are you currently a HUD property?
is
Is it?
Skyview?
Yeah,
No.
no.
It's
So you don't have any
No.
vouchers?
There's probably some vouchers in there, yes.
Yeah, that's what my next question was. Would you
Yes.
be accepting vouchers? Do
Yes.
they currently do that now?
Yeah, they probably do accept vouchers.
Okay.
And, you know, I think in the future, our intent would be to try to work with housing locally to develop a relationship and, you know, try to bring more vouchers online.
Okay.
It's a need in our community, so.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that rent range, especially if they're fully rehabbed, I think that would definitely fill a need.
Yeah, I mean, our intent with all of our assets is to basically put an A-class, you know, property in the affordable rent range.
Awesome. Denise, do you have a resolution
I
number?
do. G-1372.
I move that we approve G-1372.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is to consider the dates and times for the sale and discharge of fireworks for 2026. Denise?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Okay, so we need to decide on when we want to sell fireworks and let discharge happen for the upcoming year. We do have on the screen for you a calendar that shows the dates that were sold last year and the dates that we allowed for discharge. And I will just say that our intent tonight is for you to come to a conclusion on dates and times. And then what we would want to do is at the next meeting, we will bring back the ordinance that actually establishes those dates and times. So tonight we just want to have the discussion about when that is available. And I did send you some information just for your purposes of what we have done in the past, the number of vendors that we have, and you can kind of go, and the dollar amount that the application fee was for the last couple years and when it started at that point. So I know we have a number of people from vendors. They were all invited to attend the meeting, and I know that we have some of those vendors here that I'm sure will want to have some discussion, and we'll go from there.
I received or spoke with Brian Donnelly.
Can you talk into the mic? Brian is also here, yeah. Talking to-
Can you?
Do you, sorry, Brian, do you want to, I feel like he would do a better job explaining what he was wanting to say than I would.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to speak, and I know I've spoken with several of you in regards to this. My name's Brian Donnelly. I'm the owner of Big Show Fireworks. I've had a stand in Newton helping different organizations throughout the last 13 years. Last year I spoke and we talked about the shooting days and the sales dates. And quite honestly, as a business owner, this last year when we had dates that we could sell but folks couldn't shoot them off, quite honestly, our sales on those dates were low enough to where by the time I count the manpower it takes to staff the tents, the cost of all those things, and the risk to my assets just to have them in the Kansas weather, we lost money on the days where we just couldn't sell and they shot them off. I've talked to several people in the community, several tent owners. The joys of being one of the tents that owns its own product is, I'm able to help people in the community, right? So I can, decide what I'm going to sell it for and who I'm going to give something to. But that comes with, of course, decreased revenue from that. So my suggestion is that, if we're going to have dates where, we just can't shoot them off, I'd rather be closed than have that and have my tents, in storage where they're safe until that time. So, I know it's going to be, probably not a popular decision amongst everybody, but if I were to make a recommendation to this group, I would recommend that we just have sale dates and shoot dates, and I'd even be willing to shorten that up because I believe the state statutes on when we can do it is way too long. And I've talked to a lot of people in the Newton community that are either pro or against fireworks, and I tend to agree, that's way too many days. So my recommendation would be that we just, honestly, if this body would do it, I would adopt, the 4 days, so like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, no matter how that falls throughout the year. I don't sell on days after the 4th of July just because my early years of doing that, it just didn't make it profitable, so I can store things for a couple years and still sell them. So I'd rather have my stuff put up. So my recommendation is the 1st through the 4th, but I'd be open for any questions if you have them for me. You thought I was going to say longer, Kat. No.
Well,
No.
I appreciate that. I also want to hear from the other guys that are here and see what everybody, from start to finish, what everybody wants. Thank you.
Available if you need me.
Thank you.
I would just say that the state, if you remember, they extended the date to the 20th, I believe. Or is that right?
June 20th to July.
June 20th, yeah.
Yeah.
From the June 27th, they've gone, starting on the 20th already, until the 5th.
7th.
Oh, the 7th,
It
okay.
says July the 7th.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, that is.
Hello, Jacob Merida, Wholesale Fireworks, here to obviously discuss the best week of the year. So, I think one of the things that us in the fireworks industry we would want, and somewhat disagree with him, have some of that, is, in today's world, we're busy. And as a man with 3 small children, we're busier than ever. So the extra days give people a chance to buy on their day off on their time. 95% of fireworks across the United States are shot on 2 days. It's the 2 days surrounding the 4th of July, depending on how it falls. When fireworks are bought really doesn't have that much to do with when they're shot. And as a man who makes his living on selling fireworks, we want as many days as possible. We actually, helped and worked on the state law. So one of the things, obviously, I'm not here asking for the 20th. What the nature of the law for the state of Kansas is to give us 2 weekends. So what we would like to see is June 26th through the July 5th, so that way we get to open on Friday instead of opening on a Saturday. Also, makes it a little easier for the city because all of our inspections and everything happen Thursday and Friday instead of Friday, Saturday. Sales happen across different times, different days. People come on their own schedules and whatnot. Obviously, I like the discharge throughout. my thought is a kid shooting smoke bombs on the 29th shouldn't be a crime. You know what I mean? And I don't think it is. And I don't think any of the law enforcement's ever going to write a ticket to a kid shooting a smoke bomb in a yard. I mean, that's not the intention of the law. The intention of the law is to keep people from being jerks, shooting fireworks late, having parties till 3 o'clock in the morning, which you guys have the rules and the ticketing to stop that if that happens. So, and, I don't think, I'm in a lot of communities, it's really not an issue. You're going to have some shooting on the weekends, looking this year with being a Saturday 4th and also the 250th birthday of America. 1976 was when fireworks became fireworks on the 4th of July in America. Sales went up from there, and sales have gone up every year since then. Before 1975 and before, fireworks were actually New Year's in the South. Very few communities had fireworks. That's why if you look back and look at laws, most of our laws are 30, 40, 50 years old. It was uncommon. But the bicentennial brought people to fireworks, which was great. I mean, now you don't think of the 4th of July without fireworks going off. Well, that's it. And this is the big one, 250 years. I mean, we're driving 3 hours to go look at new fireworks specifically for this season this weekend. I mean, there's fireworks shows starting this weekend for getting our product bought, getting our stuff ready, because it's going to be such a great season. We have these nonprofits and groups in these tents out there to earn money, and to his point, each group has their own time. We had towns around us open up for the full season last year. We opened some, we didn't open some. It was up to the group and us to figure that out. If someone wants to open later, that's their thing. A lot of groups want to do it. So for me personally, and for my 7 groups here in Newton, I would love to see Friday to the Sunday through the 5th. I enjoy the 5th, especially being a Sunday this year. It's a great cleanup day for us. We call it the squaring up day. We get to, if something's got a ripped piece of plastic on it, we're able to discount it. They're able to buy it at a discount. They can hold it, they can shoot it, and we can not take shop-worn product home. And once again, I think that's a great option for us to do. We like it. We like every minute we can get to sell. Sorry, I talk way too fast. I get really excited. I love fireworks. I'm a true pyromaniac, so I apologize if I spoke too quick. Does anyone have any questions on that?
So did you feel like last year your sales were or were not affected by?
Oh, they're definitely affected. Like when you guys change the dates, we can feel it, and we know. And like we've lost groups before. They're like, hey, it's only open 4 days this year. Can we get a spot? Like Hutch went full season, and like one of our Newton groups, like, hey, we want to go to Hutch. We want the chance at money. And McPherson's looking at it. I don't know if McPherson's going to do it, I'll be honest. Goddard's already gone to it. Benton's looking at it. Andover, I met with Ronnie Price today, the mayor. They're going to go. They're going to put it up. You know what I mean? You never know how, as you always say, you never know what's going to happen at a city council meeting. Right. It's always fun. But you're going to see more people going to that. And like I said, I don't see that 20th really being a thing. The idea of that was the Kansas law was very restrictive. It was 7 days, and that was all allowed. If you guys wanted to sell another day, you technically couldn't because the state law did it. So what we asked the state is to open it up to give you guys the ability to regulate what you wanted. So we don't want the 20th. I don't want to be out there the 20th, but I want to be out there that Friday. You know what I mean? I want the 9 days of season, and so do my groups. And, once again, it's a Friday night. There's people that work third shift. There's people that work different times, and that's their time to buy. That's their family day. There's families that are, divorced and kids are with the dad one weekend and not the other. That's his weekend. That's his 4th of July with the kids. So those 2 weekends are big for us and, big for the community in general.
You're talking about discharging as well on those days?
I would like to see discharge. And like I said, if you go back and look at this and, I don't know personally, how many tickets you write. I work with a lot of these cities in that. And most of the issues in the calls are going to be the night of the 2nd or the 3rd, depending on how it falls, which you guys have a pretty good rule there. You're not seeing people opening days, out shooting to 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone might shoot something one night, but it's really just not an issue. Now, there are people that call and are going to complain about it anytime someone shoots it, but I'm sure that those people call when a trash can's left out, when a broom is there. I mean, there's people that call. And that's the nature of our business. There's people that love fireworks, people that don't. And the one thing I always ask is let the market dictate it. There's always a lot more people that come and speak against fireworks, and if they were the only ones in the business, we'd be bankrupt and we wouldn't be here today. There's a lot more people that love fireworks, love celebrating, that have no idea we're discussing fireworks in January. You know, it's just the nature of our business.
Well, I'm a self-proclaimed pyromaniac as well, so, but I can assure you that when 10 o'clock rolls around and it's done for the night, I'm out there with a broom and we're getting it all cleaned up, because I'm not going to have somebody come by and say, the mayor left a mess out in front of the yard.
I think most people are. I mean, like I said, I think, you know, I'd ask you to ask you know, your law enforcement what the issues are, and they are. And, you know, there's always going to be, you know, unfortunately, there's always going to be the one jerk. But he's probably got a dirt bike without a muffler and a car in his yard and something else too. There's nothing I can do about him, unfortunately, and there's nothing the law is going to change about him. So I want to hit it for the main middle people, give them their chance, make it easy to understand, you know what I mean, that they can have them, they can shoot them, that they can be legal. Because the last thing I ever want is to see someone getting a ticket for a firework shooting it illegally. And, you know, once again, how many problems really are they causing? And I've got to tell you, it's really not that many when you go look into them. I mean, I'm in a lot of cities, I go to a lot of city council meetings, and it's just, I think the thought of the issue is bigger than the issue itself. Oh, and on that note, I'd also like to say you guys have the most comfortable chairs of all the city council members I've been to, and I've sat in a lot of uncomfortable chairs, so I thank you for that.
So do you have booths down in Derby?
I do.
So how do you handle the fact that Derby doesn't allow sky lanterns?
So actually, sky lanterns are banned in the state of Kansas now.
They are now banned in the state.
And if you'd like to know an interesting story, sky lanterns exist because I got stuck in a rainstorm in China, and the road was washed out, and we had nothing to do, so they took me to a sky lantern factory to play with sky lanterns. So I am the sky lantern problem.
So it's your fault.
It was my fault, yeah. But no, they're banned. I don't know if they're banned nationwide or not. We quit carrying them as a wholesaler, what did you say, 9 years ago? But, I was going to say, because didn't the state ban them?
State banned bottle rockets.
Yeah, that was in the 70s, though. But I don't know. You know, wholesale has not carried sky lanterns in, gosh, every bit of a decade. And I don't know when the state of Kansas did them, but they're pretty rare now. I guess there is still some floating out there, but I hadn't seen any in a long time personally.
Where I was going with that is picking up on something that you said that I've often wondered was having the ability to have what I would call supermarket fireworks for the broader period of time, and then right around the holiday allow the big stuff. You know, because you said, you know, is a kid shooting off something in the driveway or patio, is that a problem? And I don't think that snakes and smoke bombs and all that are a problem.
The city of Wichita did that 2 years ago and found that the education on it was tougher than the problems.
Well, and that's where I think the education begins at the tent that sells it.
Yeah, and we had signs and different stuff and websites, and I've worked with the city of Wichita. Oh gosh, I can't think of his name right now. I'm brain dead. I apologize. But we've done social media posts. We've done YouTube videos and everything else, because, you know, fireworks safety is my #1 thing. I mean, we do actually, like the city of Andover does the fireworks festival, and we go. And my thing is, I get to shoot the first firework with children, and I'm up to like 412. I got to shoot the first firework with a kid, and I take that to heart. And safety glasses, safety, and you know, one of the things I always say is, unfortunately, sometimes the kids are the sober one at the party, so they've got to be the one. So we, you know, going through that safety, and we do that in our tent. We have coloring books that we give out that teach safety and all sorts of stuff. So it's always, you know, I got to catch them young, because those adults that are out there doing dumb stuff, I've already lost them. But I can start young and try to get as many right as I can.
Cool.
I apologize for rambling.
No.
So,
Well, like I said, we'd like to see the Friday to Friday. I'd like to see the shooting the whole time, give it a try, see how big of an issue it is, especially with this year, and see if it is a problem. Then we can discuss it from there. I really don't think you're going to have near as many people shooting midweek. People have jobs, people have things going on. You know, they may want to buy that time, but you're not going to see those parties, because fireworks is a party atmosphere, and people aren't partying Wednesday nights.
You're wanting Friday to Sunday, correct?
Yes, sir, Friday to Sunday, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right?
Commissioners, seem like I see you once a year.
Dun, dun,
Miller?
dun.
It's nice to meet you. My name's Trinity Muth. I appreciate you guys doing this. I've had some productive meetings, I think, with a lot of you. I feel from Brian, and I think each business has to operate however they want to operate. Whether he wants to open up on the 1st or the 4th, that's his business. If you had 2 liquor stores in town and one does really well and one doesn't, you don't shut down the one that does really well. We've had growth every year, day after day. I track it from the first day we open each year. Sometimes it falls on a Sunday or a Monday, so it's a little bit off, but we've had growth every year. We have 2 indoor locations, and what I'm asking is just some common sense and consistency. So if the tents want to open up on the 1st or the 4th, that's their business, and I respect that. But we shouldn't be punishing others that would like to be open. And I'm honestly, Kathy, you're going to be surprised, but I'm not here to ask for the 20th all the way through. I think that our 8 days are fine. If you want to give the 9th day, then that's fine. But the 27th through the 4th is plenty fine for us. And I had sent out an email to the mayor and gave him what I believe a common sense approach to this whole shooting and sales. We actually do a lot of business starting the first day we open. We bring in a lot of tax revenue into this community because we have people coming all over the state and other states to buy from us. And that not only benefits this community for tax purposes, but it also benefits the restaurants where they say, hey, what's the best place to eat? And we're sitting there telling them different restaurants in town. They're going over to our gas stations. They're going to Walmart. Anybody, I think Mr. Cry, he came in last season. I don't know if anybody else did. And he walked in. He's like, holy cow. I can't even believe all the people that's here. And I will pick on Dunleavy. He was here at the meeting after the 4th of July, and he said we really didn't have any issues. No issues. So nothing is broken from what we had last year. And in fact, I'll quote Miss Valentine. She says, I have to admit, people in Newton love their fireworks. And the reality of it is, and I'm starting to lose my memory, but I remember those things. I remember the meetings that we had. I come back.
Would you go back and find that? Because I don't remember.
If I find it, will you give us a whole year of sales? Well,
Whether you find it or not, I'm just saying, if you say I said that, I want you to go find that.
I will find it. Do you guys keep those meetings? They're documented?
they're all
Okay, I will find it, and I'll send it to you. But she said people of Newton love their fireworks, and the reality of it is they do.
Oh, well, and I would agree with that from the negative standpoint. There are lots of people that just love their fireworks with no concern for other citizens, so I would agree.
Okay, I'm just saying what was
So
said.
if you took that out of context, then that's on you.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But I don't want to spar with you. I'm not trying to get in a
No.
debate. I just took that to heart that you said that because it's true. In fact, there was a vote, and I think somebody put it out there. How many days should we have? And the vote unanimously, it was in favor of fireworks and discharge and everything else. But anyway, my common sense approach to this whole sales and discharge is, I have a lot of grandmas come in. I have a lot of parents, not single moms, but moms that are home with their children during the day, and they're like, surely, Chief Dunleavy isn't going to arrest us for snappers and smoke balls and everything else. And I said, I don't think that's their intent. And I agree wholeheartedly that we shouldn't be shooting for 8 days straight. And so my common sense approach was anything safe and sane, meaning that anything under 10 feet or less could be shot during the day from June 27th through July 4th. That would help the tents and some of the novelty stuff, fountains that don't go over 10 feet. All those things could be shot. They're not loud. They don't, cause people to lose sleep. And at the end of the day, the shooting should be able to be started on July 2nd through the 4th. And my proposal actually had in there, if it falls on the 5th, I really could care less about the 5th. I don't like selling on the 5th. I want to be done. But if you guys want to do it on the 5th to appease some vendors, and then so be it. I don't want to stand in the way of other vendors making money. I think we shut down at 3 o'clock because we want to enjoy our own family time. But having a sale season from June 27th through July 4th is very reasonable. It's not asking for the whole month from June 20th on, and then having discharge of doing the safe and sane, the novelty things, the things that the little kids are doing, because fireworks are expensive. And so people, as Mr. Marietta said, that they're not blowing stuff up nonstop. There's a few people that will shoot something, but they're not blowing stuff up nonstop. And I think we all recognized that last year. Chief Dunleavy recognized that when he came in and gave a report after the fact. So I'm actually asking, and I've brought it up to Mayor Stennett, if we could codify whatever we decide so we don't have to do this every year. I think, going to the question that you asked for Mr. Marietta, Mayor, as you said, how do we educate these people when we start in the tents? We also educate our community and the people that you guys represent by having consistency. And so if they have consistency and they know year in and year out what they can do, guess what? They tend to follow it. When the speed limit sign says 70 miles an hour, people driving down the highway at 70 miles an hour, you're going to have some that are going 95 that I saw yesterday. But for the most part, people are going to follow that rule. But if you change it every other week or every other year, that's where the confusion starts setting in. So I know last year you guys said you're considering it as far as the sale season. I'd ask you to really strongly consider the ordinance that I sent out. I'd entertain any questions. I don't know if everybody's seen it or not, but I think that ordinance is pretty clear. It accomplishes the discharge for the entire time that is not disruptive, and the aerial fireworks would just be the last 3 days. If you want to do 4 days, we'll take it, but I'm asking for just the 3. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I just ask that you don't look at any one vendor and make decisions on it. I think you look at what's best for all the vendors, and if somebody wants to open up from the 1st to the 4th, so be it. If we want to have our sale season from the 27th through the 4th, I'd ask that you not disturb that, because we have, my wife and I and business partner Dave have really grown a pretty nice business for this community. And the last thing I'm going to say is, and I know that Commissioner Valentine has said in the past that this decision is not about money, but at the end of the day, the most complaints I see on the City of Newton website is tax revenue and people saying, why are we spending money for this or this or this? And my question is, why do we want to take away businesses that are bringing in money, that are putting that money right back into this community? Because that's what we're doing. So thank you, guys. Any questions?
I have a question about the categorization of fireworks. How obvious is that?
It's pretty obvious. They're safe and sane. Some, like City of Wichita, used to just sell safe and sane, but it's anything that doesn't go over 10 feet. I think the Kansas statute, or the Kansas Fire Marshal sets it forth on their website. In the ordinance that I sent it to the mayor, it actually defines it, and it says anything that doesn't go over 10 feet. I don't have it in front of me, but ultimately, it's pretty self-explanatory.
As far as a consumer looking at a package, is it obvious?
Yeah, because the packages will tell you if this goes up in the air and how high it goes and everything else. There are some fountains, I guess 500-gram fountains, that may go 12 feet, but for the most part, every fountain is under 10 feet. They're not usually loud. Actually, I don't know that we have any. They crackle, but they're not big booms or anything else. Your artillery shells, your 500 grams, your 200-gram cakes, those are the items that go up and make the booms. And those would be the ones that would be prohibited from discharge from the 27th through the through the 1st, and then you'd be able to discharge everything on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. If you look at the calendar this year, everybody will I shouldn't say everybody, but most people have July 3rd off because the 4th falls on a Saturday. And so letting them shoot on Thursday night, most people are off on Friday night and Saturday night, and then we're done. You open up on the 5th, power to you. I probably won't be open because, it's Sunday and I'd be ready to be done. But if others wants to be open, that's on them. But we have built, and Mr. Miller, this is your first year on the commission. Congratulations. But if you've ever been to our building or our buildings, we've built quite a business here in town, and we're bringing in a lot of revenue for this community.
I think it sounds like you agree on the, like discharge and selling on the same days.
Say that again?
Discharging and selling on the same days, right?
Well, I'm giving a compromise as far as discharging just the safe and sane for the first, 5 days? And then the aerial, we'll call it the loud items that go in the air, the last 3 days. And so that way you have the grandparents that are coming in with their grandkids and they're buying snappers. I mean, I had so many people that told me, and a lot of them were little old ladies, and like, well, if they're going to take me to jail, then so be it, but I'm going to throw this snapper on the ground, and I'm going to let my grandkids do the smoke balls, and I'm sure they did it. And your guys' rules are not to prohibit fun for everybody. It's just to be reasonable, and I think this compromise is a reasonable compromise where the vendors get to, repeat sales, so people throwing their snappers, they can come back and buy more. People doing smoke balls, they want to do fountains, and that would help Brian out. That would help all of us out.
Saying selling for 9 days and discharging for 5?
No, I'm proposing in the ordinance I sent you guys, it's the sales from June 27th through July 4th.
Right.
And then discharge for all 8 days for the safe and sane, the small stuff.
Non-aerial.
And then the aerial stuff would just be the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And that would, again, you're going to have these outliers that are going to blow something up, whether they get it from us or they drive over to Hutchinson. And that's the reality of it. I just told you how many people come into Newton to buy fireworks. But if you guys go ahead and say, okay, well, we're just going to cut it back here, they're going to Hutchinson to buy fireworks. They're going to McPherson. They're going wherever they're going to go to buy fireworks. The reason why they come here is because they like the variety that we offer, and quite frankly, they like our prices, and that's why we do so well. And so, I just ask that you take that into consideration, because for every dollar or every day that you say we're not going to allow them, they're going to other communities, and that's fine for businesses that have tents in every community, but I dedicated my business to this community, and I will say Mount Ridge, because they're right over there. But and that's the other thing is, as I told you in the past meetings, before you guys let us sell for 7 days, everybody from Newton was driving over to Mount Ridge and buying their stuff from us over there, because they can sell for 7 days. They have no restrictions, and they're bringing it back here anyway. And so the tax dollars were going into McPherson County instead of Harvey County. So, I mean, those are the things that you have to look at when you're trying to decide what's reasonable, right? I think Brian has one in Park City, right, Brian? Valley Center. So, and you're going to be open all 7 days there?
Not if my wife has anything.
Well, but the bottom line is they can go to Valley Center and buy those things now. And so why restrict us here in Newton, Kansas, when you're just pushing it to other communities, where I'm bringing it into this community, and these guys are too. Right? Because we all have different varieties and different things. Go ahead.
Are you required in any other municipality to submit your receipts to the city on sales activity?
No.
Because we don't get how much revenue comes in from sales of fireworks, because it all goes to the state and then it trickles back to us and we don't get a breakout of it.
Oh, I was wondering.
But I'm wondering, could that be part of our permit process to require?
That's what I just was asking.
Well, I think you may have some legality issues with that, but
I mean, you don't get what you don't ask for.
fair enough. I mean, it's one of those deals that, I mean, are you going to go require every business in town to disclose what their sales are? Every liquor store, every grocery store, every whatever.
Right.
I mean, I'm not, obviously, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't a profitable business.
Right.
But I can tell you that
But you understand
I'm
the,
paying a lot of
you
taxes.
understand the ask though, right?
Oh, yeah, I understand
I
the
mean,
ask.
because if you're gonna preach that there's a revenue coming into me, but not substantiate
Well,
what that revenue is.
I'll sit down with you and have a beer and I'll tell you.
And that's fine.
It'll be confidential and between you and I.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I just come into the store on the 3rd or 4th and you'll see.
Right.
You'll see how many people are there, and I can guarantee you, and Mr. Marietta has been doing this for, what, 30 years? 5 generations. And so, I mean, they didn't build an empire in Pittsburgh, Kansas, because it was unprofitable. And so at the end of the day, I mean, your own ERTs, I mean, they do their fundraising. Half their money comes from their fireworks stand. Well, the other half comes from you, right?
When I go buy my mortars.
But that's my point. I mean, this is the only business that I have seen. I watch a lot of your city commission meetings. This is the only business I've seen that we have to come in year after year and fight for our business. And I mean, it'd be one thing if Chief Dunleavy was sitting here telling us that, hey, we have problems. You know what I mean? Mr. Harder, I haven't heard any problems from him. And so I guess my question
But to be fair,
why?
we're not making you fight, okay? We are making you plead your case and make the ask. And again, what did I say? You don't get what you don't ask for. So
No, I
that's what
appreciate
that is, okay? Because we have an entire community that we have to represent and that we have to answer to and everything. Not just the business community and not just the community that's anti-fireworks. We have to balance the needs of the community as a whole. And that's what we're trying to do here, so.
And I appreciate that, Mayor. And I wasn't, trying to get combative with you either. I mean, but you have a third of the community that probably don't like alcohol. And we have DARE and Mothers Against Drunk Drivers and different things like that. And I'm a prosecutor. I see what alcohol can do to people and their families and stuff like that. But we're not debating every year whether we can sell liquor, right, in the grocery stores, the liquor store, or anything else. It's just, it's out there. And so I guess my real ask of you guys is to really consider the ordinance that I sent you, tweak it if you need to or want to, be reasonable about it, and let's make it something that we don't have to do this every year unless there's a problem.
I know, it'd be so much easier if it wasn't the 4th of July and it was the first Saturday of July. It'd be totally, then I would actually be really willing to memorialize something in an ordinance that way and everything. But when sometimes it's on a Wednesday and sometimes it's on a Saturday, it makes it kind of difficult for me to memorialize that fixed window there.
Well, and that's why you and I are on the same page. We're talking cells, and I have to order everything. And tents, I don't know when they order, but I order everything starting July 5th for the next year. And so your guys' decisions play a big impact on my livelihood. Because if I go and spend the money that I spend to bring in fireworks and you're like, yeah, we're going to give you 1 day, we're going to give you 2 days, well, I'm going to be a hurting unit. And so tax revenue that I contribute to this community, whether it's building, taxes or anything else. But at the end of the day, I think that what you're saying, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, people are going to shoot regardless. And so I'm just giving you that easy compromise to let us shoot safe and sane for the first 5 days and aerial for the others. And if nothing else, codify the sell season every year so that we at least know, hey, because I can tell you pretty much exactly what we're going to do with the growth that we're going to have with the days that we're going to sell. But not knowing whether we're going to sell for 4 days or 8 days, that's a problem for me. And that's why I'm asking you guys to really consider that. So appreciate you guys. And
I'm going to think out loud a little bit because I'm new here and you don't know what I'm thinking.
Sure.
I would love to be able to have a number when you talk about how much money it's coming in, because that helps people to think about these things. Even a vague number would be helpful.
Well, I would say this. I would say out of, what do you got, 10 locations? 9? I'd say you're probably pushing over $1 million in sales.
So then our return is how much?
Well, it's hard to figure because how many of those people have gone to restaurants?
Right.
How many of those people?
Sure,
have gone
okay,
to
just on the fireworks.
I
if
don't know,
we're-
you have to, I don't know, if it's million one, how much revenue do you guys get off of that? I can't answer that for
Okay,
you.
yeah, I know.
Do we need to confide in the county about that if we're wanting that information? Because since we don't get that information directly,
We can reach out to the county and see if they can provide us that information. In the past, they have expressed that they can't give us the details as to the category in which the sales tax comes in, but we can sure reach out. and let you
I'm just curious if there's, how much of an increase are we seeing from last year's 27th through I mean, I'm talking about all sales tax, not just from your fireworks stations, but just, I mean, as a whole, how much is the increase in sales tax during those days?
We can show you how to look that up. Oh, during those days?
Yeah, just during those days.
Yeah.
Of sale.
We don't have that type of.
Kansas announced yesterday that fireworks is the largest sales tax in their city. A city of, what, 12,000, 13,000 people? And I talked to Ronnie Price, the mayor, today, and he said that in their report that fireworks was their #1 deal for sales tax. That's why they asked us if we wanted to extend days, because they want more money. They're building a new park. And literally, the mayor called me today and said, we'd like to extend days. We're building a new park. Would you guys sell one? They're like, heck, yes.
I wonder,
Just to give you an idea of, similar sized town, that's what they think of it.
well, we're a town of 18,000, a little bit bigger, and just a difference in how our sales tax is calculated. Our sales tax is a county sales tax, and it's passed through to the city. So those sales tax reports don't come directly to the city. So I can't tell you that we took in $1 million or $2 million.
No, Ronnie just told me that, because I know we talked about that before, because he was trying to figure it out, and he figured it out somehow.
Okay.
Call Ronnie.
I like predictability, so I would love to have it be predictable so that everybody knows, and every year you know when to yell at people to stop shooting off. That would be. But I really don't care how long you sell. If we could actually keep people from shooting off loud, and I don't actually care if they're silent either, but I hate the loud ones.
But the question I have for you is, what did you do to stop New Year's and we didn't sell? I'm not saying you personally, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
what did we do? For some people, they're not going to follow the law.
Yeah, no, I know.
And so, you're going to end up punishing businesses that invested tons of money in this community because of certain people that don't follow the law.
Well, no,
and nobody could sell over New Year's, but people were. I didn't shoot any off.
Yeah.
But they were shooting them off over New Year's. And so, if the Chiefs win, which didn't happen this year, but they're shooting them off when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. And so I wish I had a crystal ball to say this is how you stop people from doing that, but you don't. And so the only thing you can do is you can set rules and regulations and hope people follow those. But I can also tell you that you ban fireworks completely, people are still going to go to Hutch and everywhere else, and they're still going to shoot them off here. And ask the chief. I know everybody's ready for me to be done talking, and I'm ready to be if you guys are, but you think you can stop that, chief? You can't.
No, but
I'm a prosecutor, and
I think you're misunderstanding me.
Oh, sorry.
I'm supportive of what you're saying.
Sure.
But I'm curious if it's actually enforceable, that that we could limit loud ones to 3 days.
Well, this year we only had it for 3 days, and they didn't have hardly any reports. They had 36 reports.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't report it because I just don't think it matters anymore. But
Sure, but that's my point.
yeah, I just wouldn't know that it would actually work and figure out, could it actually work?
Well, I think consistency.
Because are other towns doing small versus large?
Wichita does.
They do.
Yeah, Wichita they have basically the safe and sane the first 5 days, and then maybe 2 or 3 days. I can't remember what their aerials are. Wichita does that. I don't know about Hutchison, that's something more maybe Mr. Marietta knows, because he has locations in every town in the state, I think. But it's one of those deals that you're right. I mean, we're never going to get everybody in compliance, and that's why, as a prosecutor, I prosecute people because I'm never getting people in compliance.
I grew up in a community where you could buy year round, but we didn't have shooting off year round because sometimes it's the constraint that almost makes it.
In Missouri, you can shoot off year round, and my parents live there, and I'll go stay a week with them, and I never hear anybody. I mean, I'm saying it doesn't happen, but
Locks keep
honest people honest, okay? So if we have it decided, whatever it is, and then it's communicated well, both at the city level and at the tent level, and we send Coney on the mission of communicating it, and Rufus, the fire dog, or you're getting a fire dog, by the way. But, you know, a concerted effort, you know, hey, to get out the information and everything, I think it's doable. I mean, I think it's at least a compromise that lets the community know that, you know, we're trying to mitigate. We hear you on the loud big stuff and everything, but we also know that, you know, the small stuff's kind of fun too, you know, and so I mean, I'm kind of down for.
I do agree with the consistency part, is, even with, like, we talk about vets and people with trauma and things like that, and the fireworks, at least if we had that consistency, they would know every year what, from this time to this time, it's going to be shut off, so they can plan ahead for themselves and be out of town or be in somewhere where they're not shooting off or whatever, you know. They can make some kind of plan for themselves. Right now, I mean, with the way that things are sometimes right now, it's like it's kind of hard for them to maybe plan ahead.
Well, just like 2 years ago, we had I put a petition together for people to sign. I had over 1,000 signatures because we had 10 o'clock shooting. They had to stop, and I think everybody realized, okay, it doesn't get dark till 9:45. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
And so this year, a lot of my customers are like, what's the rules this year? And so we constantly have to tell them. And if we could just have some consistency and make it, you know, reasonable for everybody involved, I don't see the harm in that. I mean, 2-3 years go by and you're like, man, I don't like this. Well, you guys can take it up at that point. But, you know, for us vendors and people that are buying it, we need to know in July of the year before what that looks like, how many days we're going to be selling, so that we don't overorder. This year it wasn't a problem because things are going to be crazy. It's 250th, as Mr. Marietta said. People are going to be partying. So
this probably isn't a good year.
Yeah, this
it's
is
probably not a good year to test things, but I'm thinking 3 years, I'd love to have a plan and sort of a goal. In 3 years, can we get things consistent, make everybody knows what to expect, and we can kind of education takes time.
Yeah, this year, like you're
I think
100%
isn't
right.
the only issue that it's loud.
Yeah.
I don't, I mean,
If they were silent, would you?
there are people in this community that don't like those going off even 4 or 5 nights. There's a lot of people that don't like all the noise.
It's the loudness.
Well, it's not, well, it's noise. They don't like
Yeah.
it 6, 7 days. We had one here a few years ago, 8 days in a row.
Yeah.
Man, the complaints about that were terrible. Last year, I think it was fairly well received, 4 days of shooting. And as far as money, I think my co-commissioners and city staff, for that matter, can say, I care very much about the money and the budget that we work on every year. But I'm not somebody that cares about money to the extent I'm willing to sacrifice what people think and feel. Those who want somebody on this commission, they want a voice on this commission for, could you just be reasonable and leave it to 2 or 3 nights? I've had 5 people already just boom, boom, boom yesterday say, we like 3 nights. I think is what 3 is what they said.
Well,
So-
that's my proposal.
Yeah.
3
But we
nights.
didn't get that. I didn't get that,
That's
so I didn't. This is all new for me.
3 nights total.
Well-
And so, and I,
But you're talking about 5 people, and I brought you guys 1,000 people on a petition last year.
and there are a lot of people in this community who aren't going to go out and sign a petition or won't call to say how they feel. They might talk to others and others, and it gets to you. But there are a number of people out there that have said to me they don't like, because they know where I'm at.
Sure.
I don't want to sit around and have to listen to 6, 7, 8 days. 3 and 4 is plenty of the firing. That's just, and I do feel for the veterans.
Well, and
That's a very hard thing for them
my
and
proposal-
animals. And these are legitimate. These people are just as legitimate in their concerns as the ones that you are talking about.
And I don't disagree with you, and that's why I think I've given you a reasonable proposal where we sell for the 8 days. They can do the safe and sane for the full 8 days. That's not loud, that's not banging, it's not, I mean, you can't even hear a snapper. You can't smoke balls, fountains, you can't hear those things. And my proposal is to shoot the second, third, and fourth. And again, you're not going to make everybody happy, just like we're talking about with, fast food or alcohol or whatever. Some people don't think you should eat fast food, but we still do it. And my problem with every year is I bought buildings. I pay huge tax dollars for those buildings to sit there. And you guys don't give me any tax breaks when you say, well, we're going to cut your seasons, right? I mean, I'm still on the hook for it. And so it's one of those deals you can say, well, that's your choice. Well, yeah, it's my choice. And I appreciate that. But it's also my right to come up here and tell you guys and educate you guys and say, hey, we're legitimate business owners as well. We really are. So,
Commissioner Miller, I ran some rough numbers. You said that perhaps if between those 9 stalls we sold, about $1 million. We have the first 5.5, 6.5 state sales tax. The additional 2% is divvied between the cities in the county. So let's assume that we take half of that on $1 million. That's $20,000. $10,000 would come to us. I think our fee is $2,500 times 9. I think we get more in fees than we do in sales tax. So together, fees, sales tax on $1 million would be $40,000 to $50,000.
So tell me what other businesses are in town. I mean, assuming my numbers, they may be low.
This is just, I'm giving him an idea of what that.
I just want to talk about concrete numbers, that's all. That's helpful.
I mean, I'm just giving you a guess. I don't know what the business make. But what other business do you have in town in 8 days that sell $1 million worth of product or more? I mean,
how many noise canceling headphones could we buy with?
So,
track the problems, what Wichita did.
Well, so what I would like to, how many people are here? Brian, sorry, I forgot your name. Are you the only 3? You're here too. So I would like to know what they think about your proposal.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Who, the citizens or the?
No, the other sellers.
Oh, well, I think that's kind of.
Right.
Anybody in this room, what do you think about this?
Do we have some citizens in here that have anything
Lori?
they want to say?
Thank you. Lori Hartke. Okay, can we stop thinking about money for a minute? And can we consider people? People? You like to tap on the thing? I'll tap on the thing. We have veterans. I have a grandson who's seen action in Iraq. He goes to the basement and turns up the volume real high so he can survive. I have dogs. Maybe he would like to pay for the meds for my dogs so they don't have a heart attack. They're all seniors. This is ridiculous to only consider money. There are people who can't take fireworks. There are animals who can't take fireworks. And if you allow any firework to be shot off, they're all going to be shot off. They aren't going to say, oh, I can't do that one, I'll do this one. They aren't going to do that. They're going to do it. And I did hear fireworks last year when they were selling and not supposed to be shooting. And I heard them, and my dogs heard them at midnight on January 1st. So please, I don't think those people live here in Newton. They just want to take our money and get their profits. So let's think about something other than money for a minute. Please?
Lori, what would you propose, or what would be your idea?
Well, I was okay with the 4 days last year.
Okay.
I was able to give my dogs meds, keep them calm. My one dog gets very, very upset. And I don't want him to die. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
No, you're good.
That's okay. I understand. I have 2 of them.
I know.
They didn't handle it well either.
Yeah.
And they're family.
Well, of course they are.
So I understand.
And when they start getting old, they don't deal with things as well.
I have tried meds, wraps. I build little caves out of pillows. I've tried all sorts of things for my dogs. And I hate them. I just don't, we can't actually prevent them. Because if we ban them, people will just go to Mound Ridge and buy them and shoot them off. So
No, I'm
trying
not
to figure
saying you should.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how can we have something that's predictable? Because I just want to know what days, when, so that we often go out of town because I hate them so much.
I think.
And
that's
anybody who wants to
predictable. We-
hear a lot of booming
Yeah.
can go to Peabody. They have fantastic fireworks in Peabody.
And I
One night.
would love to have a community event where we have fireworks.
Well,
I know that
I
went
think
away.
they used to,
I
didn't
know,
they,
and that
when
went
they
away.
did the,
But I like the gathering. I like the community part of it. I don't like the loud, random, unpredictable, that part. I just, if we could have silent fireworks, amazing.
well,
But I'm interested in your idea if we could actually reduce the noise until 3 days. Yeah, if you could actually do that, that would be amazing. I can handle 3 days of loud, unpredictable
Yeah.
noise, but
I
I,
was better off. That's what we had last year, and we didn't have any.
and I think, and 4 days was better. I thought it was better.
no, well, whatever it was last year,
Last-
wasn't it
Just
4
had
days?
It was 4 days
of
last
straight
year.
shooting
I mean-
last year. We didn't have days where it was these kind of fireworks. and
No.
then
but
No,
we had-
that's not
but
going
we had
to
days
work.
of
You
selling,
know,
right?
Kathy,
We had
that's not
days of
going to
selling
work.
and then 4 days of shooting, and that
That's
worked
right.
better.
We had the,
That
we
worked
had
better.
the
If you
7 or
will-
8 days of
Yeah.
selling,
I was skeptical that would work, but it did seem to reduce.
but like Brian said, that
So my
sales
proposal
were.
is nothing different than last year.
Yeah,
Other than
You're-
adding in safe and sane, where
Yeah.
grandmas can bring their grandkids and they can do smoke balls.
You know, some grandmothers don't want
Ma'am,
their
I'm
children.
not trying to get combative with you. I'm just telling them my proposal. It's the same as what you just
You've
asked for.
said it 6 times already.
Well, because you said 4 days, I'm only asking for 3 days of shooting areas.
No, you're asking for days to do things on the ground. And if you allow one thing, they're going to do the big thing. Because they don't care.
But they didn't do that last year when we
Are-
told them they couldn't shoot aerials.
You won't be able to sell during those big things during the time that you're only able to sell this.
Yeah, there wasn't anything about different types
No,
of
that
fireworks
was the
last
only
year.
change.
Yeah, there was,
Yeah,
I was giving a compromise to
4
people that want to
days.
shoot the whole time.
4 days of anything and everything was what was sold and discharged last year.
We
4
sold
days.
for 7, 8 days.
yeah,
But
9 days,
discharge was anything and everything for 4 days. You sold for, what, 7 or 8 days? But discharge was, there was no restrictions on certain kinds at certain times. It was just 4 days of anything and everything.
right.
Yeah, and the only thing I've done different is ask for a compromise for the customers who want to come in with their grandkids and do smoke balls and the safe and sane, the novelty things, so that they can do that during the season.
So
And
who
that-
monitors that?
Yeah.
Who will monitor
Well,
that?
who monitored the first 5 days last year that they didn't shoot when we told them they couldn't?
That means that's extra work on law enforcement. I mean, that's, you know, you gotta, somebody has to start keeping track of, oh, did that sound like a such and such, or was that a such and such? I mean, you're gonna be having to determine what is being done those first 4 or 5 days versus the last 2 or 3.
Well, the aerial stuff, you're not going to shoot until it's nighttime, and you're going to see it.
This, what he's proposing is basically what Wichita has now, which I was on the fireworks committee with Wichita. We've worked on it for over 6 years. And this is basically what we have now, and they have a higher fine for the early, and they actually dropped the fines this year because it was such an issue. It comes down to us putting signs in, us working together, and, you know, that's not a problem for us. We're doing this, I'm doing it in other communities, he's not. I can show you the signs that Wichita's put out there. This is, what he's asking for is common. And that gives the best of things, so you're not putting someone in a deal where they're shooting something else. Safe and sane fireworks are, I mean, they're called safe and sane for a reason. They're low, they're quiet, and they do that.
So they'll go somewhere else where they can get them, right? And then come back here, since they will be able to shoot for the first 4 or 5 days,
You're going to lose all the tax revenue. So this thing, what we're asking for is to basically match state laws, match what everyone around us is doing, so we don't have people and your groups and your cities losing money. So here's one thing. Sales tax money is great. And, I hate paying it. I'm glad you guys get it, and I love what you've done with it. Thank you for the chairs. But here's the thing. What you're not keeping in mind is, yeah, he's running this. I've got basketball teams. We've got church groups. You've got the fire department that running this. Most of that money's staying here and going to them. So that matters to them, too. It's not necessarily like, oh, it's $50,000, $100,000 in sales tax money. It's another hundreds of thousands of dollars to those groups that is their fundraiser for the year. I mean, if you look at fireworks, my family runs a very large fireworks company. We're 99.9% nonprofits. And that money's staying in there. That's going to them. And the other thing to speak to the veterans, I live in a neighborhood of 30 houses with 19 retired firemen, U.S. Air Force firemen. They're the craziest people on the face of the earth when it comes to fireworks. So there's both sides of veterans. And we all respect veterans, and they work with that. And, as far as it comes to dogs, no one's ever going to make anyone happy about anyone's dogs. My brother has 75 horses and sells more fireworks than any human I've ever met. So there's people on both sides of all of this. But this is common sense. Give us a chance. Track the deals. If we come back next year and you have 4,000 complaints, you got 18,000 people, then change it. If you come back and there's 36 complaints, then we know that that's not a problem. Like you said, you got 5 emails. Let's see how many we get. Ask the people. We'll put it. It's what Wichita did. They put out a phone number. Call if you don't like the rule. Call if you have a problem in that. And literally, the last thing Chief Snow said in Wichita is it wasn't worth manning the call line. Give us the chance. Let's prove it. Let us do it. You know what I mean? We're going to give us the 4 days. We'll go safe and sane. Like I said, if she doesn't like it and that's a problem and it's there and the city hates it, then you guys can come right back at us next year and say, no, it was hated. This didn't work. We're going to prove to you that it works. You're in a state where the sales are expanding. We're selling more and more fireworks everywhere. Everyone around us is expanding. And they're not expanding because they're having nothing but problems. Fireworks injuries are on a 15-year down. Fireworks complaints are down. Everything's down. And I can find the information and send it to you. Go look at Wichita spent, I think, over $1 million working on this and found out that why are we fighting this? It's not worth it because they were putting extra people on shift, paying everyone overtime and all of that to write tickets. They wrote 4 tickets in the city of Wichita 2 years ago. It wasn't the problem that it is. I think that it seems to be a problem, but like I said, give us a chance. That's all we're asking. And if it's a problem, change it. We'd like to say the same, and if it's not a problem, leave it. Let the data prove it. Let the people complain, and you know what I mean?
Can we give them your number?
Sure. 733-7900. I'll send them coupons.
I'll actually read it into the record if you guys want to hear what the ordinance is that I propose. Just so, it's no different than what we had, and it was essentially this. Subject to the conditions set forth in this article, the retail sale of fireworks which are included as Class C fireworks and as common fireworks under the rules and regulations of the Kansas State Fire Marshal shall be permitted between the hours of 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the days of June 27th through July 2nd of each year, and from 9 to 11 on July 3rd and 4th each year. In the event July 5th falls on either a Friday or Saturday, fireworks sales are permitted from 10 p.m. to 7 p.m. Fireworks sales shall only be persons holding a valid unrevoked permit issued pursuant to Section 4. So it's the exact same thing from last year as I'm proposing right now. And the only thing that I brought up to the mayor is these families are coming in wanting to do the safe and sane. And so the safe and sane is just you shoot the little poppers, smoke balls, everything that doesn't make loud noises for the first 5 days. And last year you shot for 4 days, Ariel, and I'm only asking for 3, and that'd be on the July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, unless it falls on the 5th. And again, Commissioner Miller, I think you bring up an excellent point. This year is probably not the test year because people are going to be super excited. 250th, you can make whatever rules you want. I think you're going to have people that are just doing it because they're going to celebrate the 250th. But I think year after year, once they see consistency, people are going to start saying, okay, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. But the frustration that I hear is every year it's different. Yeah. They get tired of it. And so
I would like, and I appreciate you guys sharing, I really do. And I want to look at and consider both sides. And I appreciate Lori sharing what she did. And I know, and Commissioner Valentine, I want to recognize that I get that. I do. I also want to represent everybody. And this really does seem like a common sense approach. this seems like a middle of the road where Lori's not gonna be happy. Kathy, you're probably not gonna be happy, but we're also not selling and shooting off the big stuff for 8 days in a row. And I'm gonna say that right now that I agree with this proposal. I think
Yeah.
this is the middle of the road way to go, and let's give it a shot.
Yeah, that,
Can I make a motion? And I'm sure I probably won't get a second on it, but I'd like to.
Ma'am?
I would like to move that we do Mr. Donnelly's 4 days of selling and 4 days of shooting. So if I don't get a second, then it goes nowhere. But at least you know where I'm at.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Can I get a clarification of July 1st through July 4th,
4
or
days,
is the
it would
5th going to be?
First, second, third, and fourth.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I consider that very reasonable.
yeah.
And I think a great deal of the citizens would appreciate that. I have to admit, I'm not very hopeful that we're going to get there. But thank you. I was really encouraged when I heard you say that. It's a very happy medium.
I do agree. I mean, the proposal to me also seems like a kind of halfway point, because you're not going to please everybody regardless, whether we do it 4 days or we do it 8 days, somebody's going to be unhappy. And I see with your proposal that there's a middle, looks more of a middle ground than I can think of anywhere, anyway else, any other way. So can I make a motion?
We have an existing motion. Do we have a second? Motion fails, dies. Yep, okay.
There's no second, so that's not even.
And I do want to say one thing. You talked a lot about common sense. I just want to remind you that that's your definition of common sense. So, no, well, I'm not interested in arguing that or debating it. I am completely at peace with where I'm at. I know that I'll be the only one, and that is perfectly fine. What I see as common sense is not exactly what you see as common sense, and as far as I'm concerned, that's okay, and we just have to agree to disagree.
I just want to say, I have no issues with you at all.
Okay.
And I don't think my proposal is too much different than him. I'm asking for 3, he's asking for 4. And I'm just asking to be able to sell.
You're asking to sell longer than what he was. And that I'm like, sell and shoot 4 days, and then we're done. But that has died, that didn't go anywhere, so I'm sorry. But I do thank you for trying very much.
Commissioner?
I do see Brian's side as well, too. But I think mostly it sounds like you both are wanting to be able to discharge on those days that you're selling, and not like last year we sold and then you could discharge so many days. And
That's a question. I'm asking first and foremost for the sales from the 27th through the 4th. What
Right.
you guys decide on discharge, I just gave you a reasonable solution for the people that are coming in asking if they're going to get arrested for smoke bombs and blah, blah, blah.
sure.
And I'd like to sell the full 8 days.
And just to clarify something that he says, I think is a little, I think there's a little disconnect. If we're going to sell on days where, let's say we're doing only the safe and sane, we still want to be able to sell the big stuff, because like you said, with people coming in when it's on their time schedule, we're still going to sell it. It's just requiring them not to shoot it off. And one thing I will say about the education piece, I mean, we put the signs up every year, we talk to people about it, but they're going to do what they're going to do.
Absolutely. They're going to do what they want to do. Absolutely.
Well, I would throw the motion out there to approve the proposal per Trinity.
So sales 6th through,
Sales, the 27th through the 4th.
right?
And then what times did you have again?
I had 10 to 10 till the 3rd, and then because we have a lot of people.
Till the 2nd, through the 2nd,
Well, sales was.
all the way
10 to
through.
10,
You got that, Denise?
No, that's okay. Well, I'll get with you with that ordinance, if you can send that to me.
We're not going to formalize the
gonna formally
ordinance
vote
until,
on it,
we're
but I
just,
would-
we're just
We're trying to get the content.
We're
teeing
trying
it
to get
up
the
for,
content for you guys to have for the actual vote, so that we can have dates of sale, dollar amount for the performance bond, dates of discharge.
so the motion would be to direct staff to draft the
Right.
ordinance
But
following this.
you want it to be from the proposal,
Per the proposal.
10 to 10, and
Is that a motion?
And then discharge would
That is-
be 6/27 through 7/1 for safe and sane.
Correct.
And 7/2 through 7/4 to include aerial.
Which would be the same last year's 4 days, this year would be only 3.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we have a motion.
and
The Leroy motion?
Leroy made the motion.
could you
I would
also, the times for the discharge then as well?
The proposal, I think, was till 10 on the safe and sane until midnight on those 3 nights.
10 o'clock stopping from the 27th to the 1st, and then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th till
Midnight, okay.
9 o'clock open every day.
just on the
10, yeah.
I make the open time the whole time. Once again, it doesn't matter, it's morning, but the 10 people are sitting there, there's no reason they have to sit there an extra hour not to open if someone's sitting there. I mean, if they buy a firework at 9:13 or 10:13, AM, I don't see that being an issue, and it keeps us consistent all the way across, but these people are living in these tents for 10 days. That extra hour just makes it easier, next hour they're not have to sit there.
I don't have a position on it. You guys have just always had 10. So.
My security sits there, I sleep.
Let's go with as written.
I just like, one nice open time all the way across. I don't, switching from 9 to 10 doesn't really change anything. That way it's 9 o'clock all the way across, and we can open at the same time every morning.
Right.
Once again, consistency. That way it's 9 o'clock all the way across. And like, oh wait, tomorrow we can open earlier, we can open later. Just 9 o'clock, 9 a.m.
I would second Leroy's motion.
It's your motion, sir, so what open times do you want?
I mean, that makes sense to me, what you said.
So we're going to go from 9 a.m. to sale till 10? Is that correct?
On the days that,
On those days, and then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we're going to go from 9 a.m. until,
11
no,
for- 11
until,
for sales.
till 11 for sale. Okay.
Give them an hour to shoot
Yes.
before they have to shut it down.
yes, that is correct.
And is that what you wanted to second?
Yes, let's second.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Any
Okay.
further discussion?
I would just like to also throw in there the performance bond and the application fee.
We didn't have any issues with performance, so I don't see any reason to change those
Okay.
fee amounts. Commissioners?
Brian?
Can I say something on that? Have we ever had an issue? Because I laugh every year when I get.
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I just,
And I haven't had a problem since I kept that money because I did not clean up in the amount of time. So, yes.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
For what it's worth, I'm voting for this because I think it's probably what works best for the community. I would love to have less fireworks, but I'm resigned.
Very good. Anybody else? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, and we will bring back the actual ordinance for official vote at the next meeting.
Very good.
Okay? Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 5. We're going to consider a grant agreement with KDOT for the 2027 CCLIP project from 13th Street to the city limits. Ed?
Thank you, Commissioners. Before you this evening is the grant agreement for the CCLIP project from 13th Street to the north city limits, the railroad tracks essentially, that divide Newton and North Newton. This grant is for $400,000. The project is estimated at $1.2 million. The city's responsibility would be $800,000 for this project. The additional funding would be bonded and paid out of the general fund, and would just recommend that you approve and sign the agreement.
Okay. I had to plug my iPad in. All right. It's not cooperating. All righty. So we need to approve the grant agreement.
Grant agreement, yes, sir.
All right, I'd call for a motion.
I move.
You're good.
I'll second.
We have a couple of moves and a couple of seconds. You'll figure that out, Denise, right? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item this evening is to consider an agreement to provide the city with an option to purchase the depot. Zach and Chris?
Yeah, I'll start out. The depot went on the market about a year and a half ago. We've taken a number of people through there. It's just kind of stalled. Their price point for listing was $1.5 million. That's still valid and current for people entering the arena. Ownership and I have been meeting throughout the summer just to kind of discuss and see where their head's at. They've had some family issues and whatnot, and I think they're geared to move the depot and know that it needs to potentially move on to new ownership hands, give the next generation, as he said, the next generation a take at it. And I believe the depot is a once-in-a-generation building to become available. The option for the city would be for $500,000 to purchase. It'd be a 12-month option. That would provide the city staff to perform our due diligence, potentially pair that with 320 North Main, issue an RFP for development, and do a package deal of the depot, essentially creating the depot district. Really, that's it's pretty straightforward. A little bit of housekeeping. The option is for $20,000. In my cover report for the packet, I put financial implications, none at this time. That was because we're not purchasing the depot for $500,000. So I just wanted to clarify that. The option is $20,000. So that would be the financial implication. Unless Chris can think of anything to clear up, that I'll stand for questions and clarification.
I think Zach covered it, but just as a clarifier, so the option fee is $20,000, which is due at signing. If we do decide to purchase the depot, it'd be for $500,000, but we get a credit for the $20,000 option price. The option is transferable, which we could do if there was a buyer that was found, and I think covered everything else.
And the key is it gives us the ability to package the property with the 320, the old Dillon's, and send it out. And this is why we need everybody to respond to the Newton Next community survey to say what they want our downtown to look like, what they want the depot or the old Dillon's to look like and everything. And that's feedback that this body needs. We are not we don't want to buy, we don't want to be the owners of the depot, but we do want to help our community have a say in what that depot becomes and what the Dillon's site becomes. So that's what this is about.
And the market hasn't been interested in buying it so far, so we have to find another.
Yep. And it's transferable. So the hope is that it'll go out and for development RFP, and somebody will come back with an amazing idea for the community, and that they'll want to execute it and make it happen, and we can transfer that over.
There you go.
So from this body, you need just
A motion approving the option agreement.
all right.
I so move that we approve this option agreement for the old depot.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item this evening is to designate the official newspaper for the ensuing year. Denise.
Yes, thank you. So each year we have to designate an official newspaper to publish our legal notices, our hearing notices, ordinance summaries, etc. RFPs were sent out to the two newspapers, Harvey County Now and the Newton Kansan, and both complied with all the criteria that was in the RFP. The Newton Kansan bid was $2.25 per column inch, and Harvey County Now their bid was $6.50 per column inch. And besides the offering of the lower price, the frequency of the publication days also makes a difference. So I would recommend that we go with the Newton-Kansan.
Daniela, could you explain to the public the frequency issue like you have shared with us before?
Would you like to take that up?
If you wanted to.
You sent out a communication to department heads. Leroy, I'm going to defer to Denise since she's our expert, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, so they publish 3 times a week. We have deadlines that we run into with notice of hearing and certain number of time. As an example, if we had a ordinance that was approved on tonight and then the publication, the deadline for the one paper is on Tuesday, it would have to go another whole week. Some of those need to go into effect by that Saturday, and so we would have a publication with the other newspaper, the cans, and then we would be able to have the deadline met for the publication to be in there on the Saturday. And I would have until Thursday to get that in at 9 a.m. And so then it would publish. We run into a certain number of days. You can only have like 10 days. Sometimes it's 5 days for no more than 5 days or no less than 5 days for a hearing. And so that's why those publication days, the frequency matters some.
I asked some questions, and I'm going to just give answers for public information. The city spent, I have no concept of how much money we're talking about, and the city spent about $1,000 on public notices last year. And then I was thinking about how we, like what is the purpose of our public notices? Well, we do it because it's required by law. And then the other pieces that you stated that are required by law. And I'm interested in the future, potentially, thinking about what should a public notice look like in 2026? If it's about transparency, which I think that's the point, we could tweak the RFP in the future to give us even more flexibility, potentially. And if that's helpful, then we should do that instead of, I've never bought a column inch before. I don't really know what, but we publish things on websites. So if it's helpful, I would love to.
And there are those things that are required, even if you would go onto the website for your publications, there are still things that are required that have to be in a print publication. Yeah. And like your budget stuff, I think some of your notices of hearing have to be in there as well.
Yeah. Just for clarity of what we actually have to do and why. I like that. So.
And we can always tweak the RFP next year.
We may forget. It's fine.
Did that answer your question, Leroy?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't mine. I just wanted the public to hear.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, I was like, why are we printing things when we can put it on our socials and our website and everything? And I understand, and we've had the discussion of there are the legal requirements of specific items to be printed and everything. And I think that, maybe next year we look at a hybrid option or whatever.
So if you think about it like it used to be, and this is something that the Press Association negotiated with, and I think Adam is on that board that has to negotiate with the legislature. We used to have to print the whole thing, absolutely everything. Now they've allowed us to print the summaries, which has cut down on the cost because we would have some ordinances that were like the fire code ordinance, which was 30-some pages. That took up like half the newspaper, and we paid a lot of money for those. So we have worked with the legislature and the Press Association and that kind of stuff very well with this compromise, I think, with the summaries. So
Right, but if the true purpose is to get the notification out to the masses and everything, then one paper has a substantially larger number of print in circulation than the other. But the socials hit a lot other, so I think you almost need to hit every method to get it out so that
yeah, and right now what happens is we do have to publish the whole ordinance on the on the website after it's adopted. So the publication goes into the newspaper, the summary of it, and then the full ordinance is on the website for everybody to see.
Right. Cool. Anything else?
I just need a motion for you to.
I move that we select the Newton-Kansan as the official newspaper
I
for
second.
2026.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Denise. Next, we're going to consider an ordinance amending the city code to provide an updated process for prosecuting business entities for environmental code violations. Chris?
Thank you. And as you recall, we discussed this ordinance. We did a first read in December. Staff has now made a few updates. We provided you with a red line just for the benefit of the audience that may not have been at the December meeting. This ordinance pertains to code enforcement and specifically properties that are owned by business entities like LLCs. It's based on an ordinance in Topeka. It calls for service to a registered agent, and if they don't respond to those two notices, the court can hear the facts and issue a decision in their absence. So I would stand for any questions. We put the Topeka ordinance in there. We put our red line in there in a clean version. I don't know if you have any questions, concerns, or comments.
Did you get any feedback since the last?
I haven't personally. I would defer to staff on that, but I have not.
Has anybody heard anything? I haven't heard a word.
No.
Okay.
I bet you we will.
Now.
What would be an ordinance number?
Yes, the ordinance number would be 5195-26.
Can you say that again?
5195-26.
Move we approve 5195-26.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next this evening, we're going to consider a temporary alcohol permit for Eads Winery to sell wine on January 15th from 5 to 8 at Prairie. Denise?
Yes, thank you. This is part of the Choose Newton Third Thursday event that's happening downtown in next week. And Eads Winery is going to be selling samples of their wine, and they will have bottles and that kind of stuff. And they just need to have a temporary alcohol permit. They meet all of the state requirements, the city requirements, and so I would recommend approval of that temporary alcohol permit.
I move that we approve the temporary alcohol permit.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next item is to consider a request to close Plum Street between 4th and 5th Street on May 2nd, 2026 for the NRC 80th anniversary celebration.
Yes, they are wanting to close Plum Street between 4th and 5th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They have some events that they are wanting to do for their celebration of 80 years in being in business. I would recommend that we approve that street closing.
I'd call for a motion.
I move we approve the street closing of Plum Street.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item is to consider a request to close East 14th Street from Kansas Avenue to Centennial Park parking lot on May 2nd, 2026 for the Battle of the Schools 1 mile fun run and for traffic cones, electricity, and trash containers.
And that about covers that. They were wanting to close Kansas Avenue, basically, or 14th Street, I guess is what it is, from 8 a.m. till noon for the Battle of the Schools fun run. This is something that they do. This is also happening on May 2nd, which is the same date as the car show. So there's a whole bunch of stuff happening that day, all kind of tied together. So I would recommend approval of that. Staff has been notified and is okay with this request.
I move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. The motion carries. Alrighty. Next, we're going to receive an update on the comprehensive plan. Rebecca.
Thank you, Commissioners. So this is just a really quick update. You'll notice that it's pretty much an exact mirror of what I gave to the Planning Commission at the beginning of the month, but this is a more formal update. Hopefully you're all following along with us on our Newton Next plan and through other communications and emails. So as you know, city staff have been working with our consultant, Olson, on our new comprehensive plan. The items that we've already completed are the community-wide survey and the visioneering workshop and the public open house in October, which, if you remember, all of you participated in along with our planning commissioners. We had a technical committee, and we've invited a lot of other people from the community. So we do want as much community participation as possible. What's coming up next are our planning and design charrettes, which will be held at the Meridian Event Center on February 3rd from 9 a.m. to noon. That's kind of the in-depth. You get to be right there in a working group. The city commissioners, the planning commissioners, our technical committee, and really anybody from the public that wants to participate is invited. But it is a 3-hour event, and really wanting to get all the different perspectives and be able to do some of the hard work and planning for our future. The consultants will then take all of that work together and use their designers, their architects, their planners, and provide us with some really good results the next day, February 4th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in an open house style. What you also have attached in your packet, which has already been really well reviewed by one of our local newspapers, is the summary of the community survey, the executive summary, the tabulated data, and all of that. That is up on our newtonnextplan.com. That will be integrated into these other planning sessions. But again, this is just a more formal way to present to you what we're communicating on other channels as well. So I'd stand for any questions.
I would just say, can we add the word forum or something to these instead of the word charrette? Workshop or something. I mean, I know what it is, but I had to look it up. So.
All right.
Thank you. I thought, what is a charrette?
I'm married to an English teacher, and we had to look it up. And then we had to look at the origin, and then all of that.
Oh, I know.
I was really blown away by some of the results on this.
But what did we learn in our social media class?
Fascinating.
I don't know.
The 5% doesn't represent the entity.
Yeah,
well,
this is the opposite of what we see.
Yes. But this is statistically valid.
No, but it's fascinating.
It's just interesting. This is worth having either a workshop or something to sit down. I can't tell you how much time I spent looking at that and thinking.
Well, this is a statistical survey, so it's got more credence than social media. But I challenged our Daniela because I'm like, okay, wait a minute, they really hate us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's the interesting part. And then if you start looking at where a lot of these people work, the great percentage of these people work, if you look at, unless I read it wrong, outside of Harvey County or in Harvey County outside of Newton. So then I'm thinking, okay, so if all these people work, they don't work here, obviously. How is it that people make those decisions that they make? Some of the positive decisions about law enforcement, the things they're satisfied with are fire and EMS, and then their look at leadership is really tanked. So I'm thinking, well, where do they not understand where some of these decisions for the things that they like come from? I was just pretty much blown away by that. I thought this is, and I know we're having a real quick discussion on this, but this is worth sitting down and looking at and understanding what we have here in this information. This isn't just a survey. I mean, there is information here that we need to be very much aware of and thinking about. Understanding, and we might not be able to do anything, but there's some real strong stuff here.
One friend who I talked to about this, who has a sociology background, and this is in his wheelhouse, pointed out we are taking this in the middle of a huge downturn in trust universally of So it may not just be us, it may just be leaders in general.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what Daniela found when she pushed back on the,
Like that
would-
sentiment is
made me feel
across the
better.
nation,
yeah.
across
and
the
it's
board.
right
It's
in
not
line
me.
with.
Not me.
No, and I know, I realize that. I just
Yeah,
thought,
it is a,
when, it just shows you when
There is a
people,
gap,
when
yeah.
people think about things
Yeah.
and they put high ratings on this or that, they don't understand
well, the big
where
thing
those
is,
things came from.
who do you think came that?
Who made those decisions? I mean, well, I won't even bother to go through all of it. but
I also
was-
thought that it seems appropriate that what I've heard people say is that when Daniela was hired, one of the key pieces was to work on changing the culture of Newton, which seems like that's probably fits with what needs to continue. And it will be a lagging, culture change takes a long time. So confidence will grow, I hope.
That's the plan.
Love the positive outlook. Keep in mind that there are things out of our control.
do we need to formally receive it or, no?
No, this is just an update.
Okay.
Just,
awesome.
okay.
All
Thank you,
righty.
Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca. All righty, that ends our stated items for our regular agenda. We have Citizens Forum and Mr. Oding.
I thought someone else was ahead of me on the list.
There were fireworks people.
They gave up.
Is there a time limit for how long I can speak?
2 minutes.
The guy back here, he spent an hour. He debated the same point 10 different directions for nearly an hour. This is unacceptable. If it was my decision, we could ban fireworks altogether. Anyway, you're going to give me 2 minutes. My name's Norm Oding. I manage Newton Farm and Art Market in cooperation and such with Newton Public Library. We co-sponsor Spring Training 26. It's for gardeners and local food producers. It's a week from tonight. It's a Tuesday at the library, 6:30 to 8. It is our 5th annual event. Tentative schedule is we've got a panel discussion online. 3 or 4 different families are going to be there discussing their own unique circumstance and what they're doing. 2 of them are basically homesteaders. From Reno County Extension, I got Patrick Burkamp. He'll be talking about backyard chickens. I've seen his presentation before, and it's really, really good. I'm going to give a presentation on the utility of small antique farm tractors for large gardens and homesteads. You can come to the library and participate. It's free. Our tax dollars provide the library for this presentation. We appreciate that. If you're unable to make it to the library for whatever reason or weather or whatever, you can watch it online. And if the next option is at your own leisure, you can check it out on the archives at a later date.
Cool.
Any questions?
Are you going to have any antique tractors there?
You gonna have any
I'll have
chicken?
pictures.
That's
What
not,
about chicken?
I can't touch, and I can't hear them.
I have pictures. I have one at home. You can come by anytime.
Okay. All right.
I've got, one of the pictures I've got
Oh,
shows,
no, you're going to burn your 2 minutes.
that's all right. He asked the question, I'm going to answer it.
He's the
I've got a
rookie.
picture of an original Cup Cadet.
Yeah.
It was built about 1960. And this one is on steel. It's got
Nice.
steel wheels front and back.
That
It's the only one I've ever
Speaks to my
seen.
Amish ancestry heart.
Well, maybe. I think this one is strictly for show, but it's a cute little tractor. It's a showpiece.
Okay. I'll look at it afterwards.
Excuse me?
Do you have it with you?
As a matter of fact, I do.
I'll look at it when we're done.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All righty. Commissioners? You-
No, nothing. Thank you.
You were?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, I'm good.
We are adjourned.